Like, so we all just started messing around like in the backyard, like at parks, and just like sparring with like all the homies. Like whoever went to spar with spar. And then I had a boy. He did boxing and Muay Thai.
Got it.
And I was like, man, if I do good against this dude, like I might have a chance to do this, you know. So we spar, we go at it. You know, I give him a good run. I think I won. Like everybody said it was a tie. Man. Like, I think I got him. So we do that, and yeah, man, I started taking it serious.
With no hesitation. This that never quit. Start that elevation. This that process.
What is up, everyone? We are back with another episode of Elevated K9 Podcast with my co-host
Roel Guerra.
And today we got the future world champion of the UFC, Mr. Jalin Turner. Tarantula. What's good, brother?
Not much. How's it going?
Everything good?
Everything's great. You know?
Finally, man. Finally,
it took a long time.
Finally, we get you in here, man. Talk dogs and talk other stuff. We'll see what we get into.
Yeah.
So first of all, you know, before we get into like the fighting and the dogs and all that stuff, just, you know, tell me a little bit about like, you know, where you grew up, how it all started for you and all that.
Dang, life-wise, training-wise, dog-wise.
Let's go with life-wise. Like, what was like your upbringing like?
Man, I grew up in Fontana for the most part. Mom moved there from Los Angeles when I was like 2 years old. So I lived there with her and my dad. Her and my dad got split up. Bounced around Fontana for a little bit. Moved to San Bernardino. It was back and forth between Fontana and San Bernardino, but I kept going to school in Fontana. So when people ask me, where are you from or whatever, I just say Fontana because I graduated school there. Upbringing was cool, you know. Dad was in and out of the picture. He ended up finally like completely like dipping out on us. And yeah, you know, that was it.
And at what age did you start getting into like the fighting stuff? Or actually before that, like what hobbies were you into? Like before, you know, getting into the fighting stuff.
Yeah, because you do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, man. So I was big into animals when I was a kid. Like I watched Steve Irwin, Jeff Corrin, like those are my dudes, you know. So I always watched them like religiously, like from like 7 years old, you know. And then that was like my first passion, like animals. Like I loved animals, spiders, bugs,
reptiles.
Whatever.
Was like the
reptiles, yeah, like
really?
Everything, yeah. And you know, I was just big into that. And then we had a dog. Our dog name was Max. He was a pit. They say it was a pit mix, but like I didn't know that. I don't know if he was a pit mix or not. They claimed he was, but that, like he was a badass.
He was
dog.
a real one.
He was a dope dog, all black dog. I'll never forget him. He was my best friend. Like we were like, you know,
and how old were you?
I was like 7, 8.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, we were like kicking in the backyard. So there's a crazy story about this dog. I was in the backyard one night. Actually, dang, fast forward, rewind it. Okay. A couple of days earlier in the week, I was riding my big wheel and it was like some like stray dog. I don't know if it was my neighbor's dog, but it looked like a golden retriever mix or something. Like it like bit the back of my ankles, like it was like chasing me. And like I was like freaking out, like I screamed, like call my mom, whatever. And then like she like just like shoot the dog away. And you know, I was like, whatever. Like I was a kid crying. I just go inside. And a couple nights later, I'm playing with my dog Max in the backyard, and he like runs to the side of the gate and like he's like going crazy. And I was like, oh shoot, what's going on, you know? And like it was like a wood gate, and like it had like a little hole. So the other dog on the other side bit him on the nose.
Oh dang!
So I run inside and tell my dad, and my dad lets him out. And I'm almost sure, I don't remember for sure, it was pretty dark, but I'm pretty sure it was the same dog that had like bit my ankles earlier that week.
Your dad went and let him out?
Yep, he went and let him out. Yeah. And
how did that end?
It was pretty crazy. It was pretty bad.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's
that dog got tore out. It was crazy. You know, seeing that at a young age, it was just like crazy. Like it was wild. But yeah, like I like got really connected with that dog just for that. You know,
yeah.
It was pretty wild.
You felt like he backed you up a little bit.
Yeah, you know, exactly.
Revenge, vindication.
I
got you, dog. I got
bro. That's messed up. Oh man. So then, so you got your first dog Max, and then what happened with him? Like he passed away at old age, or what?
Nah, he ended up he got out one day. Like it was like really windy, like Fontana's super windy, so the side gate like flew open and he was gone. Like we don't know what happened to him, and like
oh man,
my parents think like they call it animal control on him or something because he was a pretty vicious looking dog.
If he's out there fucking up golden retrievers, somebody call animal control on him.
Dang.
Yeah, he was a gangster though.
Yeah,
like they told me stories about like like stuff he did when they lived in LA. Like I was like, oh shoot, like he got down like that. I was like,
Dang.
yeah.
That's
All right.
that's crazy. So after Max, then you know what you get into. You get another dog, or you get into fighting. You get into what do you get into after that?
After that, you know, fast forward, like I started skateboarding around then. Like once I turned like 10, I think I got my first like skateboard.
Got it.
So started doing that a little bit, like venturing. Just kind of fell off of that, and then like fast forward later, like I get like really like deep into skateboarding, like in my teens, and like that, I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna skateboard for my life. Like I want to be a professional skateboarder, you know. So I put everything into that. And
Were you into like street or vert?
Street, yeah,
Got
street, yeah. But I slowly realized, you know, like I hate heights, so you know, I knew it was gonna work out.
Oh, so you weren't down to like hit rails and all that stuff?
Nah, bro. I try them. Like I do like
Stairs,
smaller
rails.
rails, smaller. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I do like smaller sets, but like big, like 14, 15s. I was like,
Yeah.
no, there's no way. I was like,
Bro, I remember Fontana has like a huge skate park, right?
yeah,
Like, or they did, because I remember I'm from Carson, so like I remember once we were hanging out with this old skater dude. He was probably like 45 or something, bro, and we were all youngsters. He would always have like a little crew of like youngsters that would all go to his house, and like we all go skate. And he was like that old dude that just like, you know, that's all he did, hung out with youngsters. And I remember we drove from Carson to Fontana, bro, and we were up here to like 11, 12 at night. My parents didn't know where we were at, and I had like my little cousin with me. And we got back with this, bro. Fontana from Carson is far, and they were like, "Where are you?" Like they were already calling the cops and shit. But anyways, yeah, that's what I remember. That's all I remember of Fontana when I was a kid. But cool, man. And then you get into skateboarding. Did you get sponsored?
yeah, there was like a little local skate shop I got sponsored by, but nothing ever like really big.
Got it.
Did you do any like local competitions or anything?
Yeah,
like that?
yeah. So I did a couple of competitions. They had like some competition at North Fontana Skate Park.
Got it.
I won a couple times.
Oh, that's cool.
Dope.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you get into fighting.
Yeah, man. So fighting, high school, my mom was like forced me to do like all these sports. She made me do track because my sister was like super good at track. I hated track. I was a terrible runner. And then I tried out for, I think it was football or basketball, one or the other, but I ended up breaking my hand. And tried out for wrestling my sophomore year, breaking my finger right before the season started.
Dang.
Yeah, but that was like, that's what got me into MMA, was like doing wrestling, being in that wrestling room, you know, going through the tryouts. Man, like just going through the hell week, like it was intense, you know, it was a lot, but I loved it. You know, I felt like I was a natural at it, you know. I'm pretty sure I would have been on varsity. I was like 5'10", like 135 pounds. Like they're going to put me in, you know? So,
Yeah.
I ended up breaking my finger. I shot in on my teammate. My finger got caught on his shoelaces, and he like went to take my back. My finger pops out, and it was crazy.
Dang. That was that.
That was that. And then they cut the program the next year. So
Dang.
wrestling.
So then you get it. What was the first discipline you got into?
Wrestling.
And so after that, even so away from school, you were still just wrestling.
No, so away from school, I really like the pursuit of wrestling stopped. The pursuit of MMA kind of like went to a halt at that point. And then like fast forward to my senior year, me and my friends, we started like doing like backyard boxing, you know, like just
like
messing around. Like
you were watching
Kimbo
Kimbo
Slice?
Slice.
yeah, you know, like so we all just started messing around like in the backyard, like at parks, and just like sparring with like all the homies, like whoever went to spar with spar. So I started like sparring with dudes, like older dudes too. Like I was like, man, like I could take you. So like we would go and like I was hanging with some of these dudes, and I was like, oh shit. And then I had a boy, he did boxing and Muay Thai.
Got it.
And I was like, man, if I do good against this dude, like I might have a chance to do this, you know? So we spar, we go at it. You know, I give him a good run. I think I won. Like everybody said it was a tie. Man. Like, I think I got him. So we do that, and yeah, man, I started taking it serious. You know, I started training in my backyard, watching videos, watching YouTube clips. Like I used the couch as a punching bag, you know. I hung a jump rope, like we like use it as like a little like double M bag.
Yeah,
you know, like,
yeah. I remember that type of stuff, man. Like right now you're mentioning it, like, you know, when you don't really have it and you're just trying to figure out what you could use to like mimic whatever you see on TV or whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I heard somewhere that, or you know, that you were like a big like Anderson Silva fan, right? Like that's who you looked up to.
Yeah, so like I watched like a bunch of his like instructional videos, like his
Really?
how-tos. Yeah, him, Quan Kicker, and Shane Faison. Like I was like like religiously watching him on YouTube, you know. But I just love Silva's style, his poise, like, you know, how he could just pick people apart and just make it look so effortless. You know, I just love that. Like he just looked like he was like levels above everybody.
100%.
Just flow. He just flows naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
His
man, Anderson.
vision.
Yeah, I think everybody was like Anderson Silva.
Yep.
Like, you know, when we were like that age, it was like, dang, that's cool, man. Well, what about you know, so right now when you're talking about you know, when you were in school or like you got into wrestling, you like the process of that. What is it that you enjoy the most of like you know, of getting to competition? Is it the process or is it the actual, like right now that you know, obviously you've been in bigger fights now. The last one I think was a pay-per-view event, right? So is it like the process of getting there or is it like the main thing, the main entrance?
Man, man, that's a good one. Honestly, like in the beginning, it was mainly about like the entrance being in there, like showcasing everything, like getting to execute. But now, like now that I've done it so long, it's like I'm enjoying the journey more. You know, I'm just enjoying like, you know, watching myself adapt and grow and like getting hungrier to get better. You know, instead of just like, you know, because like even at this stage in my career, you know, I'm just like, I know what I'm going to bring to the table. I know what I'm going to do. Like everything I'm doing now is just things I have to show to the world. You know, I already know it. Like, so like along this way, like I've been enjoying working on it and getting better at it. You know, just that journey of that grind, just growing.
Yeah. Do you like, did you visualize this? Like, did you see this before it happened? Like years before it happened?
Man, when I had that punching bag of the couch, I visualized all of this.
Really? Yeah. And let me ask you this, that feel like that first, like, how was that first big event that you walked into the big stage and, you know, you see all the lights and everything? Is that like, did it live up to what you felt it was going to live up to? Or was it kind of like, oh, it was cool, but, you know?
The first time, yeah, it was intense. You know, it was actually probably like more intense than I anticipated. But, you know, like you just like live up to the occasion. Like by that time, like by that point, it's just like, you know, like I just got to go in there and do what I got to do.
And once you're in the cage, everything is just focused on the fight. Nothing else matters.
Yeah, exactly. Like everything gets toned out at that point. Like, and it's funny because like no matter how much you visualize, you manifest, like there's always like little tweaks that are like hard to like pinpoint when you get there. You know, it's just like you can never like reenact that intensity of being in there. You know, with another human being. You know, ready to fight. Like it's crazy.
So is it like Royal's done a little bit of fighting too. Royal,
I had a couple of fights.
Yeah. So is it like just the adrenaline of like, you know, leading up to it, or what is it?
It's like, it's the whole aura, the energy, you know, just watching, you know, it's like, you don't really know. It's like you're just going into the unknown, you know, you try to like make it as predictable as possible in your mind, but you just never know until you get there, you know? So that's what it really is, you know, like my last fight, I would have never predicted a 45-second finish of this guy, you know. I expected like, you know, a whole war the first round or a filling out process the first round. And then, you know, like.
You never thought you were going to finish him like that?
No.
Got it.
Like
I didn't. But like I seen like a video of, I think Rogan just posted like a video of Conor McGregor, like in the dressing room, literally like reenacting. And that's exactly how he knocked dude out.
So yeah, like when you put it that way, yes, like the finishing sequence, I trained that literally like the day before in the locker room, but like in the time frame that it happened, didn't anticipate.
I mean,
that.
you can watch your opponent's fight videos as much as you want, but unless you see what they're actually doing in camp, you have no idea what's going to happen once you get in that ring.
The person that's going to show up to the ring.
He could be, you know, an orthodox fighter for his entire career, and then you get in the ring, all of a sudden he's southpaw. You have no idea, and it's weird, you know. Like you can kind of have an idea what your opponent's like and what he's gonna do, and you prepare for that. But like Jalin was saying, once you're in there, it's the unknown. You have no idea what his mental state is. You don't know if he's gonna do what you think he's gonna do or not, and you prepare the best you can. But at the same time, you got to be ready for something that you might have not seen before. Exactly. And I'm sure it was the same way for your opponent. I don't think he thought he was going to get tapped out in 45 seconds.
got rocked,
I got up, grabbed some chicken wings, sat down, and the fight was over. I was like, God damn, Jalen, come on, dog. I didn't even get to see it.
Hey, you know what though, man? It's like a different, and it's happened because I've had friends who were like professional boxers and all. Bro, it's a different feeling when you know the person that's in there. You're like,
Oh, yeah.
oh shit, like, hey, and I was like 40. Hey, bro, it's like a complete different feeling than like when you're just you just look up to somebody, but like when you know the person, you're like, oh shit, like that was dope.
Yeah, it makes
Like
it way more intense.
I'm gonna be hanging out with homie in a couple of weeks. He's gonna be on the podcast.
That's my boy, Jay.
Yeah,
Everybody's posting. I see on Instagram, my boy Jalin, my boy. Shout out to my guy.
That's
They
funny,
never
bro.
met you in person, but you're the boy, you
I
know?
it's so funny, man.
Yeah,
Like,
man, that's crazy.
it's part of the game.
Yeah, man. Do you switching directions or whatever? So you got into like the working dog scene. I know you got them pit bulls over there. You got one bully. It's like a bully pit bull. And then you got
He's a bully, bro.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about and we can come back to the fighting stuff because I know we got a lot of fighting people listening. But what's up, man? Talk to us about the dog stuff, man. What are you into? Like, I know you got your own style that you like. You probably you see like sport work. Actually, I do want to talk a little bit about that because you see sport. Do you see it as like hey, that's not the real deal type of thing, or
Nah,
talk to us a little bit about what you're into, bro.
Man, honestly, dude, like I'm still trying to figure that out, Like I'm just going along the process, like seeing which route I want to take with my own dog,
Got it.
Like I've been in the pursuit of a dog like this for years.
What's his name again? Flair. Got it.
Flair.
Yeah, so like I finally got the dog that I want. Now I'm just trying to figure out like which avenue I want to do. Like if I put him into a sport, go trial him, whatever. Like I still expect him to be like my personal protection dog,
100%.
So I'm not saying like I've never thought like sport work is watered down,
Right.
Like if he's gonna do sport work, he better to be able to do it on the street.
Right. Do you ever like compare to like do you look at fighting or into dogs, or you just it's completely different stuff? Like because obviously, there's like fighters that and I think we talked about this.
Street fighters?
There's like street fighters. Yeah, obviously no, but I'm saying like there's like like fighters that are really good in like say in the ring and sparring or whatever, and then they get to a fight and then they don't really perform. Or vice versa. There's some fighters that are not very good at sparring, and then they get to big fights and they just, it's like a different fighter. This is, and even with dogs, I feel like there's some dogs that really shine in like sport work, but then won't perform in the real world, and vice versa. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, do you ever like compare, stuff like that?
Honestly, no, man. Like honestly, like I'm really shallow with like being in the dog realm, because like you start getting deep, bro. Like there's so much hate, so much drama, like so much this and that, like people pointing this finger, that finger. I just like to tread super light, So
that's why you hang with Chris, our guy Chris,
Yeah,
bro.
man.
Chris is like stays in his lane. He don't say, bro. He's just
That's the way it should be, though. Like,
100%.
You know
Chris,
what I mean?
yeah, that's what, bro. That's why I love that guy, man. It's like a man of a few words, and he just gets it done. So that's why I like Chris. But and you it looks like you guys are very similar in that sense.
yeah, man. Like Chris is like I consider him my mentor. Like he's pretty much the dude that like showed me everything I know about dog stuff. Him and Yasin, like we've been training dogs. Like Chris finally took me seriously. Like man, maybe like 5 years ago. I've known him like 8 years. So I was like, bro, like let's train. Like teach me how to train. Like teach me this, teach me that. He's like, man, like nah. Like it's just freshman. Like, you're not serious. He was like, all right, if you're serious, come to my house 6 a.m. I was like, all right. Showed up at 6 a.m.
Showed up.
Kept showing up. 6
in the morning?
Kept showing up. 6
Chris.
I'd wake up at 5 just to go.
You really made this dude show up at 6 in the morning? I know you was regretting that. I know it.
Yeah, he was. Because like there'd be days where he'd be just barely waking up. He'd be like, oh, he's not gonna show up. I'm gonna go back to bed. And I'm knocking on this door like, what's
let's
good,
go.
bro? Like, let's get
go.
this.
Yeah. So you because you had your female, and then you had Brett. She had some pups, and you kept one, right? Is that the one you kept?
Yeah, that was recent.
And then you got Flair. So those are your two.
Those are my two right now.
Those are
Yeah.
two right now. Got
Yeah.
it. So you don't know what path you're gonna take with them?
I mean, I want to do some street league with Flair.
That's what I'm talking about.
But we got to get on it, man.
Yeah, man, let's do it.
Yeah, I wanted to I was thinking honestly, like I'm not really like too in depth with other sports, you know.
Yeah.
The other only one like I really liked would be like French ring, but I don't feel like I have like the time and dedication to do that
Right.
with like my training schedule, like being in fight camp. I feel like I can like get away with it with street league because like it's already similar to things that I like to do with him anyway, you know, like the car scene, like I was watching the videos on it, like the bag snatching.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna have to work on that, and then like doing the figure 8 healing, getting into that, like. So, you know, I feel like that'd be a fun one for us to do, you know, because I want to do something with him, you know, like he's an excellent dog, like he's really like he's just like my dream dog.
Yeah.
Really, like,
Well, I know you put in the work, bro, because I remember that puppy that when I first met you, you had that puppy, and I was like, oh, he's probably just in it, like, you know, Instagram stuff, and then he brought him out, and he's doing some obedience. I'm like, all right, bro. I was like, homie's taking it serious. I was like,
he looks good.
Yeah, I was like,
he's solid.
I mean, the truth is, bro, like you know how it is, man. It's like fighting. You put in the work, you put in the reps. Eventually, you're gonna end up
with the results.
Yeah, with the results, and that's just, you know. So, man, I'm looking forward to seeing what you do with that boy.
I'm trying to do something, man. I always give Chris shit because like every time he's like, oh, all right, like do something with him, like show me your routine, like show me something. I'm like, I get so nervous, dude. Like it's so I'm like,
what do you think it's like with Oscar? He's like, all right, show me what you got, what you worked on.
And then I'm telling him the same thing. He's like, man, I'm the same way with Oscar. I'm like, all right, good. Like this is not just me.
I'm like, Chris, bro, I can see. I know you're good at this. He's like, I know, bro, but I just shut down sometimes. And it's crazy, man. That's how it is. But I get like that too with other people. You know, that when I bring somebody in, and they're having me handle a dog or something, that's how I get. So I guess that's just normal.
You just want to do good.
Yeah,
you want your dog to do well, and you want to do well in front of people you respect.
Yeah,
and it can be nerve wracking. So I get it. So my question is, why the pit bull?
Man, dude, like, well, I would have to say I would go back to my dog Max. You know.
Okay.
He was the first like any like pit bull, anything I've ever like had an encounter with, and he was a great dog. You know, like I literally like I you know like now thinking about it, like you're not supposed to do this, but I would ride that dog. I'll get on his back and he'll just like let me ride. I'm like,
yeah.
He was like such a good dog with me. You know, like as a badass little kid. You know, So I always like respected and admired the breed, and then you know, like honestly, like even getting in depth with it, like, you know, me being a fighter or a warrior, like I love the history of that, you know, like what they've done, like there's no dog like them, you know, like
right,
like just gameness like as a whole, you know, like just like what breed is more game than a pit bull? None. You know, like there's no comparison. So I've always admired that, like as a warrior and a spirit.
For sure. That not giving up type spirit.
Yeah.
Indelible will, just determination to succeed at what they do. So.
Yeah, man. I mean, pit bulls. Yeah,
they get it.
That's what they are. And growing up, man, honestly, like that's all we seen, bro. Like I that's all I seen. Like in the hood, it was like everybody had a pit bull or a something pit bull.
Yeah.
And it sucks because a lot of the like people aren't educated in owning dogs, and they get these dogs are wired a little differently, and they get into situations where they. they go whoop a golden retriever's ass, but and they get a bad rap, man. But I mean, the truth is that it's true. Like if you see a pit bull, you don't see many dogs that have that type of gameness and not giving up in them.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like even like with Flair, like I would he's literally like my first like game bred American Pit Bull Terrier. Like I've had bullies, I've had dogos. Didn't go the Malinois route. I just couldn't do it. I always wanted a German Shepherd. Couldn't do it. Like didn't pull the trigger. But like he's been like the best dog I've ever had. Like I thought my bully was a really good dog. He's like leaps and bounds better.
Really? So what are you doing with him right now? Like what are you working on? Or
honestly, just I was gone for my fight week, so I'm just trying to clean him up right now.
Got it. So you're just doing a lot of obedience type stuff and all
obedience. That? Yeah, just having fun with him. Like I just love what I could do with him. Like because I always see Chris doing all this stuff, so I'm just like, just trying to like just work on little things I would see Chris do, and I'm just like, man, like that's just dope. Like I can finally like get him to do this. Like one thing I always seen that Chris would do, like he'll flirt the ball, and like he'll make them like down like right away, like just stop them mid in the tracks. And I was like, that's so dope. So I was like, I'm able to like I taught him that like he showed me, like he was like, yeah, do this and that. Like I got him to do it. So like that's cool. Love that. It's like little things like that. Like me being around like Chris, you guys, like seeing like what you guys do with your dogs, like it motivates me to want to like do better with my dog.
Yeah.
So that's
you're gonna get there, bro. Yeah, I already know. I already know, bro. You're gonna get there, man. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be good. All right, bro. So tell us a little bit, like tell us a story of like, maybe something that since you've been in the dog game for a little bit now, something that maybe you regret or like, or or some, or like, because I know you've had a couple dogs, and I know some of them didn't work out. Can you tell us a little bit of why they didn't work out?
Man, a biggest regret. I wouldn't even say it's a regret. You know, it's all a lesson. But man, the dogo I got, that motherfucker.
I remember
did
that
not work out. Man, world class canines, bro. So I go out there. I fought in Atlanta, and I went out to go meet the guy, see the dog. And you know, he's like, show me the dog is working on the little flirt pole and a little rag, you know, looking good. I was like, all right, like, you know, I FaceTime Chris. He's like, oh, he looks good. I was like, yeah, okay, like, fuck it, like, I'll buy it, $4,500, you know, whatever, get him shipped out. Like, a couple weeks later, gets delivered. Chris is telling me like, bro, this dog is a nervous wreck. He gets out of the fucking van, just like tail tucked, running around, like not knowing shit. It's
Right.
Like,
So wait up. Did where he was at, you went to visit him over there?
yeah.
How was it over there? Was it like, was the dog like in a kennel the whole time, or was he, or because man, like if you went to like a ranch compared to like the city, that could be a big shock on a dog. But obviously genetics, you know, genetics are genetics. But
Yeah, so it was a ranch, like ranch style. I didn't see where he was. Like he had like his own separate room where he brought the dog out from. So
Got it.
it was possibly a kennel.
got it.
But yeah, dude, like
Now this company, is it a company, World Class Canine, or is it just a breeder?
they're breeders.
Okay.
Yeah, they're dogo breeders. Yeah, you know, he had a nice dogo. I think it's one of his nicest dogos was called named Achilles. Like,
Got it.
you know, seen him online, like seen videos, but now it's just, I was like,
Yeah.
bro, like, it's like fuck videos. Like, you know, I need to see that shit in person.
So you get the dog, and Chris is just like, nah, bro, this ain't it.
Yeah, man. He's like, bro, I send this motherfucker back. He was like, oh, if I was you, I send this dog back. I was like, whatever. And then like, he's like, you know what? Like, he was like, just try it out. Like, see how he does.
Yeah.
A couple months. Like, yeah, a couple weeks, like, couple months. Like, he might come out. You know. So I was like, we'll see. But he knew better. He was just like, I was just so hyped on the dog.
Just wanted to
Like,
make you feel better about
Yeah,
it,
you
yeah.
know?
But just for the listeners out there, you know, sometimes you know, especially once you get involved in like the dog game and all that, like when you're looking for a dog, you want like something, like you want to either work it, or you want to do something, or you want a dog for protection work, for example. And if the dog don't have it, I mean, you know, it's not that you don't love dogs, or like, you know, you didn't care for the dog. You just wanted him for a purpose, and he wasn't going to serve that purpose. And that's why it was like, you know, you weren't really into him, I guess.
Yeah.
So how long did you have him?
Man, shoot, like, I think like 8 months. About 8
Oh,
months.
you try to stick with him
I
then for a little
tried,
bit.
bro. I tried. He would come out, like, he would be good. He'd bite, like, but I would take him like I did with my other dog. Like, I'd take him to the gym. I'd take him in the stores. Every time he seen a sliding door, he'd freak out. Like, can't even, like, I have to like pull him through certain like obstacles. Like man, like exposure was bad. Like his nerves was bad. Like I have him around my kids. Like they like drop a toy, and like he like get up and freak out. And I was just so uneasy with him around my kids, like
liability.
that. You know?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't like that, you know. And then like, but my bully, like, same thing, could be in the same spot, same position, laying down, drop a toy, whatever, and she's fine, just relax.
Got it.
You know, so that's when I knew like he's not a good dog.
Yeah.
You know? But like, I guess like it took having a bad dog to really understand what a bad dog was. So like,
Right.
I just look at it as like an experience.
Yeah,
but-
and a lot of people get into this, and you know, and actually, there's a lot of trainers who probably wouldn't even, they'll work that dog for a little bit and be like, hey, if you want to stick around, you're gonna have to get this other dog, one that I bred, and be like, you know, so you can work it here or whatever. But yeah, man, I mean, it sucks especially because a lot of these people, man, they love the dog for just like a dog, like a pet or whatever, and they get a dog as a pet, and then they come out and then they see all these dogs working, and they're like, well, I want my dog to do that,
That
and
was
they
me.
don't realize that, you know, like the dogs that if I'm gonna get a dog, I'm gonna like try to select that dog for especially if it's gonna be for working, you know. And obviously, I mean, you didn't know too much at that time, so you obviously didn't see certain things. Like, bro, I could have told you that.
Hey, look, he looked amazing when I went to go see him.
I bet you he wouldn't
good.
look amazing today if you went back and saw him and you saw that same picture. Because I'm sure you would do like different tests, or you would see different things.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't see, like, if you're gonna go out there and get a pup, make sure you get him out of the place where he is comfortable, where he is known, so you could actually see how this dog's gonna recover from stress.
Yep.
A lot of people, you know, they'll go see puppies and then they'll, oh yeah, these dogs look good. Yeah, they're in their own home with their own like people they're used to seeing. But why don't you like get each one of those away from the pack and see how he acts? And then you're gonna see a little bit more of like what you can have in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
And that's why, like, that's what I learned too. Like, go look for confidence. Like, as long as like
that's it.
the genetics are there, the drive's there, and the parents, it could get passed down. But that confidence is key,
Confidence is you cannot like. Some people go, oh, this he picked me because the dog was like hiding. Because the dog was like hiding behind him, and it's like, nah, that dog was scared. It went behind you because it was scared, but it didn't pick you. And then they get attached to him because they obviously the dog picked them. And then they're calling us later because the dog is afraid of his own shadow. Yeah. And so people just gotta but they don't know. People don't know, man, and that's why
there's some dog people who are like that too. Newer ones. I mean, there are handlers who that maybe they get their own dog turns on them and they just don't want to. Yeah, they can't get rid of them, Yeah. And I get it; they love the dog, but
you gotta go.
And you know what, man? I have a lot of respect for people that like, man. I had a guy, and he had a Doberman female. Put a ton of work into her. Did a lot of training. The dog was doing everything. But then the dog would have like these episodes where she would just like flip a switch and go after somebody, like barking at him. And he had his kids. I think it growled at his kid. And I was like, hey, man, like, I don't care how much training you do. This dog's genetics are just not there for what you want. But this dog was perfect because he had sent her to like some lady for boarding while he was moving down to California. And the dog really looked good out there. She never saw these issues that he would see over here. So, that dog was perfect. I think it ended up going back to this lady. But I got to give him props because I'm like, hey, bro, like, you can't say that you didn't try. Like, you did everything. And, and as trainers, sometimes we got to be like, hey, we got to be real with people. Like, hey, we could probably help you, manage the dog better and stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to change this dog's genetic and turn him into something that he just can't be. And and I think more trainers need to be a little bit more open about that.
Yeah, man. I definitely have to learn that lesson the hard way myself.
Yeah.
Man, just like trial and error with dogs,
That's it.
And it's just, man, like to spend so much money on dogs, it just didn't work out. It's just been crazy.
Yeah, people don't realize,
it's
man.
It's definitely a labor of love because you ain't gonna get that money back.
Exactly. End up just giving him to a good home, just money down the drain.
So how is he right now? Have you heard of him?
No, dude. So I ended up, man, that's a crazy story with this dog, dude. So I ended up giving him to my kid's mom's parents, right? Mm-hmm. So dad loved him, was like taking care of him. And then next thing you know, like, he's in the pound. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what happened? Like, didn't hear anything. Like, my kid's mom ended up finding out because one of her coworkers wanted him. And she was like, you guys sent him to the pound? We were like, no, like, what happened? Like, so I guess, I don't know if his wife sent him to the pound or whatever. I don't remember the story.
Yeah.
I was like, ended up in the pound, but he got adopted really quickly. So that was good. And, he's going to get home. Like, I'm pretty sure he's doing good. I haven't kept up with him, but I'm pretty sure he's doing good. But I usually try to rehome my dogs with people that I know, so I knew that they wanted the dog.
Yeah,
so
you did what you had to do to give him a good home, but then he ended up in the pound somehow.
Yeah, that was out of my control.
Dang, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, it sucks. But
hats off to you for sticking with it and then trying to do what's best for the dog. Man, a lot of the times that's hard. I'm dealing with the issue right now with my dog, but I know, not because of me though, but I know he would do better elsewhere because I'm not putting in the time with him because I got other dogs that I'm putting time into. But if I can get my wife to finally be like, it's fine, because I know he would do better with someone. He'd make a great pet for somebody who would love him and spend time with him, and that's hard for a lot of people.
Yeah.
To put your foot down.
It's hard for. We're trying to find somebody that is close.
Hey,
enough.
we're gonna place this dog. He's gonna have a good life. That's what I'm hoping I can say to her. But he's married now, bro. He's different, bro. He's keeping that dog.
She gonna listen to this episode. But
man,
we'll see. But that's hard. Like, for some people, that dog is just gonna do better with somebody else.
Yeah, man. It sucks. I mean, I don't know if I've talked about my first Malinois that I had to place.
Oh, you never talked.
Let me ask you, why Malinois?
Because I got really into the sport, and I mean, let's be honest. The truth is that the Malinois, it's bred for working, and for a certain sport like Frenching, is what I wanted to do. It's like, years and years and years and years of breeding just for that purpose. If you were going to get a dog for, some whatever other purpose, if you're going to get whatever dog was bred for that. So, I mean, if you ask, I don't know, bro. I just think I love the pit bull, bro. Don't get me wrong. But, I just feel like it is a lot harder to get a pit bull or, but I started with a Corso. You know what I'm saying? So I did it, and I did it with the Corso. I was always of the mentality like I'm gonna get them to the highest level, but then once you're in it, you're like, bro, like it's never gonna happen, bro. Just like I'm never gonna be an MMA fighter and shit. I'll get my ass whooped. That's just me. I don't care how much you train, bro. Like sometimes you could have people that train their whole life for it, like you're not built for it. Yeah. You're not built for it, and so. I feel like the Malinois is built for it. But even with my first one, bro, I had him trained, man. He was nice, and he tried to bite my daughter one day, and I ended up giving him back. I ended up selling him. I never got paid for him, but I ended up selling him to some dude, and he ended up dropping him off at the pound. The dog ended up, going back to the breeder, and he bit the breeder, bro. Like, and this dog was like. He just wasn't there from the get-go. You know what I'm saying? I remember he bit Larry the first day, and it wasn't like a bite, like a puppy bite, bro. It was like really like bad intentions behind it. And you see it in the dog though. Like you see it that, and so, but he was, he was a good dog. That's what I thought I wanted in the beginning. I was like, yo, I want a dog that you can't touch. Like people can't get close to him. People can't. And then you have it. You're like, yo, I can't even handle it. Like I wasn't built for that dog. I was like, nah, that's too much for me. I don't need it. I can't.
Like Chris. Chris loves those dogs.
Yeah, bro. But then, then it's like, and I tell Chris all the time, it's like, bro, you can't even take the dog out, bro. Like you can't even have him in pup. Like what is he gonna protect? Like you can't take him out. Like it don't make no sense to me. Like, so you're telling me you got something to protect you, but you can't take him out anywhere. Like it don't make no sense. And I think he got it now.
Yeah, he got it now.
Yeah, especially once you like see the liabilities that come along with it, man. It's like, bro, man, if only people knew some of the things that we hear about, that dogs do and that, situations you can get into. Bro, it's dangerous, man. And you'll see me, man, bro, obviously when you get a bigger name, like, man, the last thing you want is a dog that's a little bit crazy in the head.
Yeah, exactly.
You want stable.
Yeah, exactly. Especially having kids too. Like I can't deal with crazy.
Nah, bro. And think about it like this, bro. Think about a fighter that can't control his emotions.
Exactly. Just walking like they're gonna fight at the bar, gonna fight everybody.
Yeah, and he can't, he can't control himself.
It's a waste of talent.
That's why I don't understand like why people will get dogs like our dogs. And literally never correct them for any bad behaviors that happen until they're like a year and a half. It's gonna kill my dog's driving. No. It's not gonna kill. Bro,
I would hear it all the time, man. Oh, I'm not gonna teach him an out because I don't teach that till later because I don't want my dog to be. I'm like, bro, like it's a dog. Like if you teach him how to bite, you could teach him how to out. Like it's nothing. And if your dog's drive goes down because you teach him an out. He might not be the one for that work, bro. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, bro. All right, so we talked a little bit about dogs. Now going back into the fighting stuff, because obviously we all know you're gonna be a world champion one day. Royal, I know you got a couple questions for him, man.
Yeah. So for me, when I first got into it, I walked into a gym, in my neighborhood, and I'll never forget. They put me in the ring and we're doing some wrestling. There was a little 135-pound kid. Back then, I probably weighed like 270. I was a lot smaller back then. And I was like, are you sure? You sure? Like, you want to pair with me? And he was like, yeah. He took me down and I could not get off my back. He just kept me on the ground.
Bro, they wanted you.
Show this big ass dude what's up. What 135
He saw you as a target, bro. He was like, man, I'm going to knock this dude out.
What was it like for you? Might have been different for you, but did you find a gym? And then when you found that gym, what was it like?
So I went to this gym called Adrenaline in San Bernardino. They had a fight team tryout.
Okay.
I went to the fight team tryout. It was horrible. It was
what was that?
Fight team tryout. So they made us run like 4 miles, do strength and conditioning, spar, grapple, like do all this crazy shit, like just to see like if you're gonna break, and if you like you did good, you excelled, like they liked you, like you made the team, you get sponsored training, so you train there for free.
Oh, dope.
So I did that, went through all that, got there, got on the team, I made it, and first day I go in, first day I spar, I get dropped to the body. Boom. I was like, oh man.
Really?
Yeah. My mom was there too. She was like, I can't watch you spar. I was like, she's like, I can't watch no more. It was
Dang.
funny. But yeah, it was intense, man. Like it got really deep. Like a couple months into it, I had my first fight. I had like a little pancreation fight. I found my boy Jacob Rosales. We cool now. I go out there. All I had was striking. I go out there, throw a big head kick, catch him, wobble him. I was like, oh shoot, and then we're
You got all excited and shit.
yeah, and then he takes me down. Boom, takes me down. I had no grappling. I didn't know what to do, and he's just like punching me. Like it was pancreation, so like you couldn't
the
throw-
body.
Yeah, just bodies, like just body. You couldn't go to the head. So I was like, all right, whatever. I ended up getting like losing like by TKO, but like I just like as soon as I did that, I was like, I love this. I was like, this was awesome. It was a great feeling. Like it was crazy,
Just to being in the ring and fighting somebody.
Yeah, it was so surreal. Like I just loved that energy, like being in front of the crowd. Like it was amazing. Like, even though I lost, I didn't get my result, but like it like made me like hungrier for more, Fast forward, had my first amateur fight. I think I don't know if I TKO'd him in the second or if I won by decision, but I had my first amateur fight, won. Had a Muay Thai fight, won, and I just started winning. I was like, all right, I could do this. Yeah.
Right.
So it was awesome. It was a crazy experience. Like, damn, looking back, bro, that was like 10 years ago, man.
Yeah,
That
that
was
It goes
long
by
time
fast,
ago.
huh?
yeah, dude, making me feel old.
And bro, you're still young, bro. You're still young. It's like, but usually like, well, I mean, I guess probably not with MMA, but I mean, I remember like in boxing, bro, the kids would be starting at like
Yeah, in boxing,
6 years old. They were already out there.
Yeah, bro, it's wild, dude. But that's because like honestly, like boxing is such a it's a limited art, you just gotta work on like one aspect, your boxing, your hands, So you have to like perfect that craft even more because it's been around so long. There's so much more to do. There's so much, so much more goes into just focusing on one thing. You have to be like pretty much be a perfectionist at it to even break like becoming a professional, break
Right.
like being a name in boxing.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of boxers have anywhere from 50 to 100 amateur fights before, especially in Mexico,
Right.
before they even get to the professional
Exactly.
stage. And the career is the career window is so short because there's only one target the entire fight for the most part.
Right.
You know what I mean? And not only that, but they're probably getting more beat up in sparring as far as the head is concerned than they are in the actual ring.
Got it.
So they have to spend all that time very young in their career versus in MMA. A lot of people get started in their mid 20s, even in their late 20s, and they still have a phenomenal MMA career.
Like if you're a dog, bro, you got some squabbles. You can just go into the gym and learn from like some really good people. Like, do you think it's about who you surround yourself with? Like, did you ever notice like, okay, when I got with this, we're not gonna mention names, but like when you got with certain person, boom, that elevated you, to another level or whatever.
Yeah, no doubt. It's all about that. It's all about learning when to grow. Like some people get super hell bent on loyalty, and like that's cool and all. Like it's good to be loyal to certain people, but if they're not growing and helping you grow, you gotta just learn when to like depart from that. Because like even like with my first situation, like being with Adrenaline, it was cool. Like, but like I really I knew I outgrew the gym like long before like I actually like got to leave. So yeah, dude, it's all about who you surround yourself with.
And it doesn't mean that that you're not like loyal. I'm sure you're always going to be thankful for what they did bring to the table, right?
Yeah, always, yeah. But it's about like growth. I got to keep growing. I got to surround myself with the next level and the next level. Like I don't think I'm gonna cap off with my coaches now or like my training partners now. But if that ever does come, then I have to like achieve a new level. It's,
Right.
And in turn, like if you're a good coach and if you really want the best interest for me, like you'll like let me fly.
I was just
100%.
gonna say that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like that's with anything in life, even with dog training.
100%.
Like me training with Chris, like, okay, I can learn so much from Chris. And then one day, what if I like learn so much that I'd have to come learn from you, Like he's not going to be upset about that,
Nah.
Like he's just going to have to like.
And you have to like me now that I'm like, it's I hate saying this, but I'm a little older now than like all the youngsters coming in. But like you can't, and you got to check yourself. I feel like, you know, because I mean, we're human, and sometimes I think jealousy is just natural. Like, you know, you're like, shit, like why did he go over here or whatever, and you got to catch yourself and be like, yo, he's in his own race, and you can't be upset about that. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, we totally see that in the dog game, because I know that I've had people that I was with, and you know, as soon as I started like learning, I felt like they saw me as like a threat, or like, you know, hey, don't help him anymore. He knows what he's doing. Like, don't go, you know, like that type of stuff. And it sucks. It sucks to say it, because like, you know, some of these people, you see them almost as like family.
Yeah.
And then they start doing this stuff. You're like, yo, I guess we're not like family. And you know, and I always encourage even all my team right now. I'm like, yo, I need you guys to check me. Like, if you see that I'm doing something I'm not supposed to, you know, like I got Larry, she'll be like, hey, maybe you should try this. And I'll be like, cool, this is what I need. I need you on my team. Or, you know, but yeah, some people, you know, they're not open to that.
Yeah. And that's something that's like really detrimental in like MMA too. There's coaches that like don't like you cross training or going to other gyms.
But you can learn so much at another gym, bro.
That's what they're scared of.
Yeah,
though.
people don't understand that. Like, I recently had a falling out with my coach because I brought another coach in. You know, he let his ego get in the way of business, and understand, like, dude, like, I've been with you for like 8 years. Like, why would you even be upset about me having another coach? I asked you prior, like, if you were cool with it, you know? And he said it was cool, you know, but, you know, he just let it build up and boil over. I'm like, man, like, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, like, for me, like, I still got to grow. You know, I'm not letting you stop my, like, anything I have to do. Like, there's even young fighters that train at the gym still. And like, I tell him, like, hey, look, go cross train, like, do what you want. Like, if he gets upset, you know, let's let him be upset, because, you know, it's your career at the end of the day. Like, you can't really worry about his emotions. You know, you got to do your own thing for what's best for yourself. And that's how it should always be. You know, like 100%. It should always be open, like, because you have something to learn from it, whoever you go like work with. You know, like, you can learn a good lesson, you can learn a bad lesson, but you're gonna learn something regardless. So it should always be like one the best for everybody to grow, the best opportunity for everybody to grow.
It's hard too as a coach, because I used to coach Olympic weightlifting, and they would get to a point with some of my athletes where I didn't know what I could improve on with that athlete. I was like, what can I do to make this person excel? And I would think, and I would look at my programming, and I would look at the technique, and to me it was fine. But then another eye would have a look at it and see something that I didn't see. And at that point, I'm like, you know what, maybe you should go train with this person for a little bit. Maybe 100%. That'll help you get better. Yeah, so what if I lose an athlete, but the reason I'm coaching this person is so they get better. Exactly. You know what I mean? Yep. And as a coach, yeah, it's hard to watch somebody excel with somebody else, but that also lets me know that, you know what, I have room to improve on, you know, for the other things as well. So at the end of the day, both people should benefit from it. But if you're a coach who kind of thinks you're at the top already and you have nobody else to learn from, then you're just always going to be stuck there.
Yeah.
And you see that in dog training as well with dog trainers. So,
and it sucks because you'll look back and you'll see like where that person is, and they're probably like not very far from where they were at when you were. Yeah. And that's just because if you're the one that knows the most in the group, then you're just going to you're going to get stuck. Yeah. So like for me, I'm like, and it's you know, it's funny because like, oh, well, I go do like seminars or workshops or whatever, but I still want to bring people in. Like we had Karina, this girl this past weekend, just a couple little things that I saw, I was like, oh, that's dope. Actually, one of the things that she brought that I wanted to talk to you about that maybe we could relate into the fighting scene is so one thing that she talked about was basics. Like she was like for the heel position, she was like, I spend weeks, maybe even months, just proofing just the basic position. And then and it's funny because prior to that I had listened to a podcast and the guy was like talking about how he was watching Kobe practice, and he was doing like pivots, like super basic stuff, but he was like practicing. He's like, why are you practicing that? And he was like, why do you think I'm still at the top? Like, it's the basics that make you. Do you see that, you know, going to how you train and stuff like that?
110%. My coach, Anthony Gonzalez, he actually like made, like, I used to love throwing spinning crazy shit. He's like, nah, bro, you got to work on all your basics. So we've been doing basics for years. So now he's finally letting me go back to like my spinning shit again. But dude, like it makes sense. Like it changes your game, you know, like even like just working on boxing. Basic boxing helps your footwork so you can keep your feet planted, set up for kicks, you know. You learn how to kick, you bring your leg down, you can drop, you have a good strong punch for just landing in a good boxer's position. So everything ties together. Just basic takedown defense. Basic takedown offense. Just keeping it basic footwork, basics, especially in MMA because like it relates to dog training so much more because there's so many more aspects to learn. Like same thing you can work on heel, down, stays, like sins, bite work, grips,
Right.
So going back to the basics is always going to improve and always going to improve for your dog or yourself.
100%. Because you might be, I mean, like I'm just thinking about dogs and how, like say the heel position, you might see the dog might see a noise or something that he's never seen in that position. And if you didn't, as good as it's going to be, if you never did proofing, then it could affect your dog in the heel position. And it's like, oh, well, the dog, you'll hear it all the time, bro. Like, oh, the dog, flipped me the bird and he didn't care about what it's like. Well, you didn't spend enough time on the basics. That's why your dog did that. But if you would have just spent enough time on the basics instead of just moving forward, then that would have never happened. And I feel like it could be the same for a fight. Like you get knocked out because you didn't work on your basics. You're trying to do all this other stuff
Easily. Yeah. Like that being said, like, you say you do work on the basics, but you don't proof like the what ifs of what you do. Like you say, like same thing in the heel position, dog hears a noise, gets a distraction, like he just jumps ship. It could be the same thing. You throw a jab, you're not ready for the fucking overhand left. You just got to be ready for everything. You got to proof especially like if you're getting ready for a fight with a certain opponent. Like it gives you even more of an opportunity to prove things that your opponent can capitalize off of. So it's like it actually narrows it down a little bit easier. Versus like dog training. Like there's so much more like what ifs, ins, ands, or buts to do.
Right. Yeah, and if you have a dog that has those holes because you didn't have a solid foundation, bro, you see it all the time. Goes out the window, gone. The dog is like running back to daddy because he never saw a picture of the decoy running at him or something, and he's running back to daddy or mama. But yeah, man, that's crazy. Ro, you got any questions? Because I got a lot of questions, bro, but I don't want to just take over the show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, how many fights have you had in the UFC? How many fights did you have prior to the UFC?
Dang.
'Cause I know you're 13-5 right now. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I had 8 fights in the UFC so far.
Nice.
Dang.
How many more are you planning to have this year?
Maybe one more.
So 2 fights for the year. I know in 2021 you only had 1 fight.
3, isn't it? It's gonna be 3.
Yeah.
This
No,
year.
it'll be 3.
It'll be 3. Sorry,
yeah.
yeah. But you only had 1 fight last year. Was there a reason for that? Or?
Man, I don't even remember. It just sucks, bro. One fight sucks, dude.
Yeah.
And it's just like you're just waiting on the call, basically.
Yeah, and then the year before that, I only had 1 fight, I believe. I don't know, maybe
I think you had
2
2 the
fights.
year before.
Yeah,
that.
the year before I had 2. And the year before that, I had 1.
And you literally can't do anything else because
Yeah.
You're
you're
under
just waiting.
contract.
You're under contract, waiting on the call, basically.
Yeah, but that's also like, that's kind of why I like get into other things, because like I always like to like look at it as like a possible future, like business venture, like something I'm passionate about, something I love.
Dog
like,
trainer at Elevated Canada.
bro, like I really could, like if I wanted to retire, like I could do that, like, and I have no like problem with that. Like, it's still something I like to do, like something I'd have fun with. Like, would I want to do it every day? Nah, but I could do it. Like I can make a living off of that. So like that's why I like just venturing out and doing all these other things. Like even like with the reptiles, like I could go like figure out how to breed reptiles again and get on. Like I like everything I'm passionate about, I can monetize.
Yeah.
So it's just about keeping the image, keeping the name. Like right now, I'm just like, putting the image out there, keeping the name relevant, and just
branding.
Yeah, just branding it. Everything.
Tarantula MMA.
Yeah.
So why specifically the tarantula?
Man, I had a fear of tarantulas at one point. I got over it by buying a pet tarantula, and yeah, man, the rest was history. I ended up getting a big collection of them. I had like 200 plus at one point. I was breeding
You're
them.
breeding them, huh?
200?
Yeah.
I read somewhere like somebody's like, oh, I bought a tarantula off that dude.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
funny.
It was wild. I was breeding
You
them.
were slinging tarantulas on Craigslist?
Yep.
No.
How much do they go for?
It depends on the species, age, sex, whatever. Like you can get like anywhere from like 20 to like $500 for one.
They come with a breeding contract?
Like
Nah,
paperwork?
you can do whatever you want.
They don't come with paperwork?
Puppy contract?
Dang.
Yeah, no papers, nothing.
So how did not being able to have I guess items with you in the weigh-ins affect you? Because you used to bring your tarantula out with you at the weigh-ins.
I did
and
that
the
one time,
interviews.
you know.
Okay.
So that was like, it was just like that was just an opportunity. It was
Yeah.
like one of those things, like
Branding.
yeah, exactly,
branding,
branding.
bro.
Yeah, like nobody's ever done that. I'm literally like my nickname's the Tarantula.
Yeah, that
like
was dope.
you know, like exactly, it was dope. It was
Yeah.
history made. Like I don't think any fighters ever weighed in with that like live pet or anything like that in the UFC. You know, so
Yeah, I don't think too many people pay attention to like branding like that. Like, bro, that is huge. Like literally,
Yeah.
like, you know, you're pairing it to something else. Like somebody thinks about tarantula, they can be like, oh, Jalin, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and yeah, man, that's huge. And people don't pay attention. I mean, if you see the biggest fighters or whatever, like their branding is on point, man. So yeah, that's dope.
You ever gonna take Flair up there?
Man, that would be dope.
That would be
sick.
super dope.
I would love
until
to.
somebody gets snatched up on the walk-in.
Nah, he's good, dude. He's like I'm on it with him. Like
His
it's funny.
temperament's solid.
Yeah, he's solid, bro. Like he has a great off switch. Like good with my kids. Like I always have my eye on him, but like I really don't worry about him at all. Like Amazon, like the Amazon guy dropped off a package the other day, and he's kind of like timid at first. I was training him. I was outside training him. He's like, is he friendly? I was like, yeah. I was like, hey, can I record you petting him? He's like, yeah. So he's like, oh no, don't jump on me. And then I snapped his leash, and like he was really fine and
And then
friendly.
you're like, now can I record you me turning them on you?
I could have.
Yeah.
I love that video where I think that was your
With my
coach,
coach,
right?
yeah.
I love that video where he's
What
snapping
he-
at him.
Oh,
So he's snapping at the coach at the back of his vehicle, and then I don't know however many minutes later, the coach just sitting there loving on him.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
was literally
it's-
like a couple minutes later. I
Yeah.
was like, hey, done. Like chill,
That's
relax.
it. Chill out.
And it was
he was
good.
cool.
But you could tell he was serious. Like he would have bit him.
Oh yeah,
if he got close.
no
enough,
doubt,
100%.
yeah,
But like the switch turned off like that, and
That's cool, man.
And that-
couldn't
and
ask for more than that.
yeah, exactly. And that's why I love like him. And like I've always had that like I usually get like a good sense of the on off switch from pit bulls.
Yeah.
You know, like I guess like now I've seen a lot that like don't have that off switch and they're just like always on go. But like for the most part, majority are like they have the off switch, and that's why I always like admire the breed. You know.
I think most dogs could have that, but some people they don't want that. Like they don't want that. It's like they set up the dog for a life of like you're just gonna be working. So the dog is, you know, whenever you see him, he's always used to coming out and working.
Yeah.
So when you try to get him out and just relax, then he doesn't know how because he's never been taught that skill.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe that's one of the main things. But
Like exposure, you know, because like I from a puppy, like I took him everywhere. You know, I took him to the gym. When I had to go get my hair cut, I would take him. Like when I had to go get my hair like twisted, my dreads twisted, I would take him. You know, and his carrier, like he flew on the plane with me, like it was good. You know, so I like exposed him to everything. So he has that off switch. But I do know all my dogs. You know, like it's funny because Chris always told me like when it comes to like pet stuff, like I'm really good at that because like I take my dogs everywhere, I expose them
Right.
to a lot, and I'm like able to like just leave them off leash. They're good. Like we can go like recall is pretty like consistent. Like he's like, man, like you're good at that. And I was like, oh shoot, what? Like you think I'm good at something? I was like, damn.
Yeah,
I better be good at that. 6 a.m. at your house every day.
hey, you know who has the best dogs, bro? Who? They spend all day with them, and they're always off leash.
Ooh.
Every homeless you see out there with a dog, bro.
Yeah.
Talk about a socialized dog.
Dude.
No, I seen one, bro. This lady, she had a pit bull. This dog would follow her everywhere. I got close to offer her some money so she could buy some dog food because this dog went off on me, bro. But he went off like just staying really like it was crazy, but it was like natural. And I'm just like, yo, train my dog. But she was like, no, he follows me everywhere, and I just feed him, give him water, and he's just with me. And I'm just like, man, like, but they get to spend all day with him. Most people don't do that.
But then like you start to like get in depth and wonder like how much of that is like exposure in the dog and like how much of that is exposure and how much of that is just the dog, because like, we always talk about like, oh, this dog is bred for good temperament. His parents have this, his parents have that. But you like, come on, like, you really like a homeless person probably just got that from like some backyard breeder or
for
whatever.
sure.
So,
But I think it's also like, bro, the streets will teach you some stuff, man. And I think that dogs, if they go into the street, they almost get hit. They're like, oh shit, I
Exactly.
probably shouldn't do that again. Or it's like real life experience. Or I don't know how I don't know how they train them, but how the dogs end up like that. But the person is literally all their source of water and food. So that'll make the dog want to be closer to them. And then, and I'm sure like, life experiences of, getting almost hit by a car, like that type of stuff. And the dog just stays close.
Like you like get these like pet people, like the fur parents, and like their dog go through some shit like that, and he's gonna be on medicine and being nervy for the rest of his life, like.
But because they didn't teach him any life, like they never taught him how to deal with pressure, like So I think that when a dog isn't taught to deal with pressure, and like, for example, like we get people all the time, I don't want to crate my dog. I don't want him. I mean, he's never gonna be crated, and I'm like, okay, so you're literally putting your dog, like it's gonna be worse if something happens to you and they got to take him somewhere and he's going to be crated. Guess what? Now the dog's going to go through a little more just because you didn't want to do it at a young age when he could have done it with you and he could be good in a crate. But now you don't want to do it because, the dog isn't, they almost see like a crate as like you're going to have him there 24/7. It's like, no, it's just like a life skill. Your dog should know how to go into a crate and settle and be cool. And some people, they're like, no, I don't want to do that to my baby or my, whatever. And they're doing a disservice to the dog, man. And I think even, I'm sure like you see it like with kids, if you teach them how to, not deal with pressure, they're going to, life is going to kick their ass when they get older.
That's a fact.
Yeah, I think the dogs definitely learn. I mean, the pictures are different on the streets than in the house with the fur mom. You know what I mean? But I see what you're saying. Like, the dogs don't come from this amazing pedigree with amazing temperaments. They're just a dog they probably found.
Exactly.
But I think just the dog growing up in a certain environment, in a certain way that the homeless people are dealing with them on a daily basis. These homeless people are probably out there putting some pressure on these dogs when they mess up.
Yeah, they'll correct them. They'll let them know like, hey, don't be doing this.
And the dogs are gonna learn quick. But like some of the best trained dogs I've ever seen were in the Philippines, bro. Just living on the street.
Mexico.
You know what I mean? In Mexico. No dog training, no prong collars, no e-collars. All these people are doing is whistling at them.
Yep.
And they're coming and the dog's doing all this. I'm like, dude, how?
Yeah.
They have no professional dog training.
And if the dog does something he's not supposed to, they get that chancla thrown out. Kapow.
So I think a lot of it has to do with their environment. And
so let's go back a little bit to we're talking about pressure then. Obviously there's a ton of pressure, and you said you felt like, it was hard when you got into wrestling or whatever, and you enjoyed that pressure. You think that, what has made you what you are today? Is there any circumstance where you're like me, and I'm going to give you an example so then you could kind of relate to it. When I went to my first big competition, I didn't put enough reps in tracking. I failed. I drove to Arizona, and I would have I would have probably won that trial if I would have put in the actual time into tracking, and I didn't, and I failed. And then being there and seeing people up there with all their trophies and shit, and me down here just watching, I was like, yo, this ain't gonna happen again. Is there something that with you that something happened to you or something that you were like, yo, this is never, I'm not gonna go through this again, or some type of where you got some pressure and it changed you a little bit?
Man, shoot, I've been through that a few times. Man, like even like when I first started training, I sparred with this kid. He was freaking monster. Like, he beat my ass, man. That was the first time I've ever been broken and the last time I've ever been broken. Like, I literally like went to the edge of the fucking mat and I just sat down. I was like just fighting back tears. I was like, fuck. He just whooped me. Like, I felt helpless, you know. Like, it was a horrible feeling, But like, ever since that moment on, like, I haven't ever let anybody break me. Like, not even in a fight. Like I've been like hit, I've been hurt, I've been rocked. I've been like, I'm not like, you're not gonna break me, So that's one of the most like memorable instances I've had, like as far as like my MMA career. And then most recently was my last loss, and that was like I think almost 4 years ago now, because I fought injured. Like it was just a shitty situation. Like my mom kind of like made me feel like she needed some money, so I was like, okay, I'll do it. But like she ended up telling me, she's like, you didn't have to fight, blah blah. Like, I didn't need the money.
You knew you shouldn't have taken that fight.
Yeah, because I had a torn meniscus.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I was like, no, I'm gonna fight. Like, I still feel like I was gonna beat the guy. Like I felt, bro. Like if we fought like 9 more times, I'd beat him every time. Right. Like that's how I felt. So I went in there with the confidence, but like I trained so hard, I put in a lot of work, and then like just the last like 3 weeks, I really couldn't work that hard because my knee was like compromised. So that was like a big turning point.
But mentally, you were there. You think?
Yeah, mentally I was there, but I was just like, man, your
body just didn't.
Yeah, but he didn't respond. Like I was just like he'd take me down. Like I tried to like stop him from turning the corner. Like knee would buckle a little bit. I was like fuck, like can't do it. So that was a big turning point, you know, because I just got in the UFC. It was like my third fight in the UFC. I lost my first one. I won my second one. I was like, man, I just lost this one.
And how do you feel after that loss? Like, I mean, like, is there like something that we don't see like after that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? Like, is there or you were just like, man, like I'm just gonna come back, or was it like, or were you down for a little bit and then you were?
I was down, bro. I was down. I got knee surgery. That was the longest time I ever went without fighting. I went like 11 months until my next fight. And that's since I started my career, I haven't gone that long, you know. So that was the first time. It was intense for me. I was like, fuck. Like I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna fight again. But it's because like I wanted to fight so badly. I was like, I wanted to get back to it. I wanted to get better. I wanted to grow. And I was just sitting there, soaking in those emotions for that long, like doing physical therapy, like doing rehab on my knee, getting back right. Like it put me through like a big like a
Depression?
mentally like yeah man, like I just hit rock bottom,
Just
like
at a low
mentally,
point.
man. Yeah, I was like a low point. And at the same time, like it built me up so much stronger. Like my mind just started like just getting like stronger and developing. And I was like, you know what? I gotta give
What helped you get out of that, man? Because I think a lot of people, I mean, a lot of people struggle with that, man. And
Dude,
you know,
honestly, like it was just more like the drive to want to do it. Like I just wanted to do it. Like I was like, I wanted to do it so badly, I didn't want to do it anymore. And like it was like as weird as that sounds, like that's what like motivated me. I was like, I want to get back. I want to be better. I want to do this. I want to do that. And you know, like and also like I always attested to like my coaches, like they like were in my ear, like they were super supportive. My family was super supportive. You know, like I just really like got like reignited again. And I had my daughter too, so you know,
that'll change you a little bit.
yeah, man. So that was like, I was like, I got 2 kids, you know, I got to feed them. Like time is of the essence. Like I don't want to do this until I'm like in my 40s, you know, I want to be done like early on. So I got to make my legacy now, make my name, keep branding, keep, you know, marketing and, you know, chase that goal now, you know, as time is of the essence. I don't want to be old and fucking not be able to like talk to my kids and read them a bedtime story because like I'm fucking punch drunk, you know, like I was just like, let's get better and be better, you know, like, and I was like, I have this opportunity. I cannot waste it. You know, I do not want to waste this opportunity. I've seen too many people, too many close people I've known, like has the opportunity given to them and taken away. I was like, I'm not going to be that person. Like I refuse, you know, I just learned from a lot of other people's lessons and it literally just lit a fire under my ass. I haven't lost a fight since. I've finished every fight since then, you know, I'm going to keep that going. Like but was the work ethic got changed. Everything got changed, man. Like that last fight I lost, it put me on a new level because that was the most running I ever did in my life. Even on that fucked up knee, I was running like miles, like 5, 6, 7, 8 miles. I was like, I've never done that before. You know, I was like training hard, like still trying to like just figure out my way around all this injury shit. And I was like,
you were on that Goggins shit.
Yeah, man. I was really like I was on a new level, dude. And I was listening to a lot of Nipsey Hussle. You know, Nipsey Hussle like recently passed away. You know, and then and then like I walked out to a Nipsey Hussle song, Still Lost a Fight, bro. That shit fucking hurt me so bad, man. I was like still to this day, like that shit haunts me. I was like, fuck, man. I really like. You know, like
yeah,
like,
bro,
I love Nipsey, so that one.
Really you know what? Man, it's funny you mentioned that, man, because I was listening to a bunch of Nipsey when that whole thing, and like I listen to it now, and I think about where I was at when we were listening to those. And bro, I think it's hard to understand it if you didn't grow up. I feel a certain way, and like you know, because I could relate to a lot of the stuff that he says, and so yeah, man. So I could definitely see how you were like, yo, I'm gonna win this thing, and then for not win, how it made you feel or whatever.
Bro, it's like letting down one of your idols, you know.
Hey,
like,
bro, when you get that big fight, bro, you gotta come out to Nipsey, bro, redeem yourself.
Well, I mean, now you're top 15, bro. I mean,
I know, dude, it's crazy.
That's nuts.
It's wild. Hey, but another thing too, I've walked out to nothing but J. Cole songs since.
I know, I heard that. You gotta keep that one. I heard that. Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, the training is gonna be with Nipsey.
Oh yeah, I was listening to Nipsey on the way here.
Yeah,
you know?
that's cool, man.
Sure.
So, like, do you have like you know, obviously you say your legacy and everything. Is there something that you know that you would like to achieve outside of like you know the fighting stuff? What is going to be like you know your legacy?
I want to title a dog. I want to title a player. Like that's like I've always told Chris, I was like, hey, don't let me title a dog before you, bro. Like you better get on your shit. Like I was like, that's like.
You heard that, Chris?
Chris, dog. And I'm always pushing Chris to get out there,
Dude,
bro. For some reason, he don't want to get out there, bro.
Straight League's coming to Los Angeles, Chris. You got to represent.
Come on, Chris. Even though player P got a weird looking head now, bro. Just playing, bro.
He'll be good. Player P's hard. Like,
Hey man, he put so much work into that dog.
Man, I remember when he first got P, man, it was sick.
Yeah.
That's like around the time I was going to his house in the morning.
Yeah.
Like we started like earlier, like maybe like a year, like about a year before he got P, or a few months before he got P. That's when we like started all that whole thing.
He's gonna get out there, bro, and he's gonna be on the podcast pretty soon too.
Yeah, I was trying to get him to come. I was like, bro, you should come. He was like, oh man, I was busy. I take his dog. I was like, damn.
Yeah, man.
We got to do it with both of us.
Yeah, that'd be dope, man.
That'd be sick.
We got an extra mic.
We could definitely do that. Well, man, hey, we appreciate you coming out here, bro, and hanging out with us, man. I know that you got a busy schedule. I know you're training a lot right now and everything.
I'm chilling now, man. Shoot, my arms
Still on the recovery.
To heal. Yeah, dude.
So what do you do right now? Like on your like, do you still obviously you still got to stay in shape a little bit, right?
I'm eating. I'm
really
eating good. Yeah, I'm eating good, bro.
So you want to like how long before you start like is it like fight camp like when you start?
I usually try to stay in shape, but I got this injury. I told myself I was going to take a break after this fight anyway. I was like, coach was like, get this fight in, go take a vacation. So I'm going to just chill out.
That's cool.
I'll probably like get back in it, like training like casually here and there, like maybe next week.
Got it.
And, full force, maybe like the mid-August.
So you don't suffer burnout.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Cause like, honestly, and that's another reason why, like, I felt like, life sat me down when I had this injury, the knee surgery, because after every fight, I would be right back in the gym. I never took more than like a week off. Literally never took more than a week off unless like I was hurt.
But what you hear is usually different. Like stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
And I was always ready. Like before I got to the UFC, dude, I was always in the gym. Like I never took time off. And like I got to a point like people tell you like you need to take your breaks, you need to take your rest, or your body will make you do it for you.
100%.
So I got to that point when my knee gave out. Finally, I was like, shit. Like so now I really I'll take time in between fights. I'll take my rest. Like.
Get to hang out with the kids.
Yeah, like exactly. Like I'm spending all this time with my kids, like making up for lost time being in camp, back on my dogs, training them and getting them sharp and, just living life, like being normal, like being a regular civilian, a human being, not like hell bent on like training and trying to prepare to like
enjoy
beat this
it now,
man.
bro.
I mean, as regular as you can be, right?
As regular as I can be.
Because it ain't regular anymore. You walk out of here, people are gonna be like, "Hey, that's Jalin."
Enjoy it now, bro.
Asking for pictures.
Enjoy it now,
because
pretty soon you probably won't be. I mean, you look like the kind of dude that you're always gonna be hanging out and shit. But I mean, I'm sure it'll get a little difficult once
yeah, man.
Once you get that that championship belt and.
It's gonna be wild, bro. It's gonna be wild.
I know. I was like, hey, man.
Remember the first podcast?
He won that last fight, and I was like, yeah, we need to get him in right now. Because we're not gonna be able to get him in later.
remember the first podcast? I don't know if this is the first podcast.
I text you too. I think I was like, hey, Jalin, bro. We got to get you in, bro. He's like, let's do it. I'm like, all right, cool. He's in.
Hey, I was trying to get in before the fight.
For real, we were trying to get it.
Yeah, bro. But if you lost, and I was just like,
Hey, somebody had to go to Italy and mess it all up.
I know. I'm all hitting him up like, hey, bro, how can I put like elevated on your trunk? He's like, nah, bro, we can't do that. I'm like, oh man, come on, bro.
I would have been down though.
Yeah. But cool, man. Well, shoot. Hey, bro, when we gonna train, man?
Dude, let's do it.
Let's link. I know.
You're
right
always
now.
busy.
Nah, man.
Yeah, tell him.
I don't see you at Bite Nights on Friday.
Tell him, Jalin.
Bro, look, this is the reason why, man. Because I feel like Chris is growing, and I feel like he needs his space so that he could, do his thing. And if I'm right there, I feel like I want to step
pressure.
in.
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
bro. And so I really love what he's doing, and I love how he's growing, and he's helping people out. I went over there last time and I saw some of the dogs work, and I'm like, bro, there's no reason for me to be over there to step on, get into his space.
I respect that.
But come out, bro. Wednesdays or whenever we train.
We
bro.
training tomorrow. What?
Yeah, let's do
tomorrow?
it. I'm
Thursday?
down. Wednesday.
Man, y'all gotta stop being so far, bro. It was like an hour and a half.
We're gonna be in
from me.
Irwindale.
That's still far.
Listen, bro.
Come on, bro.
Once you get your own gym and you get your big old warehouse in Fontucky, then we can go train over there.
All right,
bro.
bet. Say less.
Cool. Hey, man, we appreciate you, bro. This is a great time, and I look forward to doing it again with Chris here too.
For sure.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
You got any? Why don't you tap us in, bro? Where can people
they find you?
see all your stuff? You got any anything you you're selling your tarantulas? Or?
Nah, no tarantulas for sale right now.
Plug whoever you got to plug, bro.
Man, my social media, the Tarantula MMA, Twitter, Jalin Turner, Facebook, Jalin Turner. You catch me there.
Cool.
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 You can hit me up on Instagram at Roel_G.
Big Papi. You can hit me up at Oscar Mora Dogs, and obviously check out at Elevated Canine Academy.
Cool.
And yeah, remember, guys, elevate your mind.
Elevate your canine.
Let's go.
Cool, man. That was dope.
Let's get it. This that go and get it. With no hesitation. This that never quit. Start that elevation.